Do you guys have music in your ear now? Okay.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is the Awesemo.com NHL DFS Strategy Show presented by Yahoo Daily Fantasy Sports. We've got 10 games to discuss for tonight. I'm Jay Kari. I am joined by the GOAT, Josh Harris. Josh, how did your night go last night on the 2-gamer?
2 games suck if you miss like the one. Like my biggest liability was Brad Marchand. He scored. I used Swayman and net, and he got lit up like a Christmas tree. So it was an early close the laptop for me. Got some Harry Potter in. So I'm excited to be back for a 10-gamer if my computer unfreezes. So, I'm ready.
Yeah. Were you playing cash mostly?
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I should just play GPP and just throw a couple in the 15, but I ended up, registering for cash games. So I was like, you know what? Throw a cash lineup in there and just got absolutely dead last and everything. But I'd rather finish dead last than bubble. So
yeah, there's nothing worse than bubbling, especially when you have just one lineup. I went to bed with some nice looking winnings in my account, and then well, not in my account, but on my page, my live page on DK, then woke up with about half that. So all in all, I think I got like 95% of my entries back, which on a 2-gamer, pretty good if you're not baking the whole thing. So wasn't too mad about it. Got a few lineups in the top 15 or 20. Just didn't have number one. I think I showed you yesterday my graph on Roto Tracker.
Yeah,
look, the top 1% finishes look good. I just haven't quite had that elusive big just yet.
Yeah, man, it's tough if you're all over the 1%, but you got to be in like the 0.01% because it, 25K to first, and it's like $12 and a coupon for ramen noodles in third place. So you got to like really get up there.
We got some good discussion going on in the chat. People asking where Cliffy is. Yeah, he's getting his hair done. That's a weekly routine. He needs a day off. That's in his contract just to keep that hair looking good. So I'll be filling in. You guys are stuck with me. We've got 10 games, so we're going to get into it pretty quickly here. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I know probably a lot of you already watching and listening. If you're listening on podcast, have probably already subscribed. But if you have not just yet, that's really, really important to us. We've got daily streams going on for NFL, MLB while it's still going on, NBA. That is back. We've got like 3 or 4 live streams going on for NBA each day, PGA, college football, MMA, whatever you want to watch for DFS. We've got it. And then if you want to head over to our Awesemo odds channel, we've got sports betting over there, Awesemo fantasy football, season-long fantasy football stuff there. Lots of good stuff going on. You playing cash again tonight, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, I register GPPs just on the off chance like my cash lineup goes absolutely crazy. I was thinking about GPPs again. I might just start doing 2 lineups, but I don't know if there's enough time in the day for that kind of stuff. I got to write 2 MMA articles, but like it takes me a while to watch tape. There's not like you can just like look at numbers like in hockey. You actually have to watch fights, so it takes me a little while to prep for the articles for MMA. But I might start doing 2 lineups, 1 cash, 1 GPP for NHL. We'll see how the next week or 2 goes, see if I can build up some bankroll.
Yeah, I would suggest doing 2 just because different tournament types. But like there's people that do it well with just 1. They play like high stakes cash. A couple guys that come to mind. One in our YouTube chat right now already trolling us out of the gate. So I mentioned NBA season is back. We do have a pretty big promo that's not only for NBA, but it's NBA themed just because of the return of the season. It is promo code Curry, and it is you'll unlock 50% off for your first week of Awesemo Plus Platinum. So you're getting $15 off with promo code Curry. That would include everything on the site, excluding Fantasy Cruncher. You could add that on afterwards, but you're not going to get that discounted. So you get player projections, ownership projections, the NBA Boom Bust tool, if you're interested in that. Also, the NHL Top Stacks tool. You get access to the premium Discord, which has been an adventure so far. And again, promo code Curry is only valid until Monday, October 25th. So that's 4 days from now. I would just lock it up now if you're thinking about it, because you're not really going to get a better deal than this. We don't often do platinum deals anymore, and this is about as good as it gets. So if you guys get any questions about that, you can DM me or Josh, and we'll point you in the right direction. There's a link right in the description with the it'll take you right to the page, right to the checkout with the discount already applied if you guys are interested. First game on the slate tonight. Let me pull up the lineup builder right here. Carolina, Montreal, we got a 2.8 implied total for the Hurricanes, 2.8 as well for the Canadiens. Freddie Anderson expected to go against Jake Allen. Montreal's really been struggling. Lost to the Sharks 5-0 on home ice 2 nights ago. Looks like they've shaken up their lines a little bit. Suzuki with Hoffman and Gallagher, Dvorak, Drouin, and Anderson. That's been the one constant. Tyler Toffoli and Cole Caulfield on the third line with Matthew Perreault. I don't know what's going on there. And then it looks like the Hurricanes are pretty much going, well, they're going with a similar lineup. Aho with Teravainen and Kotkaniemi, Trocheck with Svechnikov and Netchis. So Netchis and Teravainen looks like they've swapped there. I think that must have been in morning skate earlier today. What do you like in this first game, Josh?
Yeah, man, Montreal is searching. They are searching for some answers. My dogs are about to start fighting, so maybe they want.
Okay, so the dog. Well, just so everybody's aware here, when the dogs bark, that means that's the nut play of the night. So I didn't hear a bark there, but some noise. So the dogs are interested in Montreal, so go ahead.
We'll bring in the pit bull.
There you go. Yeah,
okay.
We'll see the dog up there. So if he barks, and then you really, really got to go all in on whichever play that is.
Yeah. So no, listen, the one line I like for Montreal is the second line, Dvorak, Anderson, Drouin. They've been their best line all season. I don't really like going into Carolina. I would imagine the Dvorak line is going to get the Aho line, which kind of just doesn't do much for me. I'm kind of out on Montreal tonight just because it's a big slate and I need them to find their groove. Like they're putting new lines together. Hoffman, Suzuki, Gallagher. They don't have a big sample together. Toffoli, Perreault, Caulfield, not a big sample together. So, and they've looked terrible defensively. So for me, I like Carolina here. I was a bit surprised at their ownership being so low. I was also a bit surprised at their total only being 2.8. I thought they'd be over 3 for sure. But I do like that second line of Andrei Svechnikov, Vincent Trocheck, and Marty Netchis. Me and Cliffy always, go out of our way to play Marty Netchis, but his numbers with Trocheck are very good. They're going to get probably Suzuki, Gallagher, Hoffman, which, it doesn't strike me as a very good defensive line. We'll see what happens when they actually get a sample. So I don't mind going to there. You get Trocheck and Svechnikov on the top power play, Marty Netchis on the second power play, and even that third line, Niederreiter, Stahl, Fost. Like I'm not a big Stahl guy at all, but they're so cheap, like Stahl 3,400, Niederreiter 2,700, power play 2. They're going to get the depth of Montreal, which has looked atrocious so far this year. So if you're looking to, get Edmonton power play in there, Florida power play, Colorado power play, I don't mind the 2-man of Stahl and Niederreiter. So this is a Carolina game for me, and I'm pretty much out on the Canadiens.
Yeah, Canadiens are tough just because you don't know if their lines are going to stick. Like they could easily go back to Suzuki, Toffoli, and Caulfield like mid first period. I mean, if they get down again. It's hard for me to play a bunch of Canadiens on a 10-gamer here when I'm not confident the lines are going to stick together. And there's a couple teams like that. And one that's going to be pretty popular that we'll talk about. Hint, it's the Chicago Blackhawks. Aho with Teravainen, I mean, like that, like instead of Netchis up there, I think I prefer Teravainen with Aho. They've got a really good sample of them being awesome together with guys like Jesper Fast and other scrubs. But I don't mind going to either of the top 2 Carolina lines. I don't think they're a priority play for me. The ownership, actually, is the ownership loading for you on the lineups page? It's not loading for me right now.
Yeah, it went away.
We just ran it. It literally just got updated. So that should sync up there very shortly, and we can see the ownerships of the individual players. But yeah, any of the top 2 Carolina lines I'm fine with. Don't think I'm hammering them, despite what the dogs might say on this game. Any blue liners here before we move it on?
Savard's min price. He's been blocking a bunch of shots. I don't mind him on Montreal side. That's really about it. I mean, if you're stacking Montreal power play, which I don't suggest unless you're MMEing, you can play Petrie at 4,800. Listen, the Carolina guys are super cheap. I mean, Tony D power play 4,500. I wouldn't one off him. I don't think. I'd probably use Shea or Pesci or Slavin, even Bear. Like those are, I like all four of those guys. They're all reasonably priced. Jacob Slavin's been playing like 23, 24 minutes a night, so 3,700. It's a pretty decent one off.
Jam Wow says, chat, am I laying my money down on either of these two guys' advice? Would not recommend. We oftentimes recommend bad plays. So you're going to want to maybe head over to Ben the Better's account if you're looking for some bets. There's some other guys that I think you'd be better off with. But only losing plays on this site here. Sharks, Senators, 2.9 implied total for the Sharks, 3.1 for the Senators. Reimer and Matt Murray are your confirmed goalies. I like multiple things in this game. What are you drawn to here, Josh?
Yeah, so Tkachuk is back. Brady Tkachuk is back for the Senators. So we get Chuck Norris back in the lineup. He's with Batherson, probably going to get the Couture, Meyer, Dahlin line, which that line, Cliffy and I were talking about it. He's like, yeah, Couture is looking really old and he just had his best game like in 3 seasons. But like that line is fully correlated on the power play. They're still super cheap, like because of Dahlin, 3,200. I don't mind that top line. Timo Meyer, 6,900, tad expensive, but I think, if you're 20 maxing, 150 max, I think they definitely have to be in your mix. It's really bad on the Shark side. If you want to, I wish, Hurdle was on power play 1 that you can get a bit tricky. You can swap Dahlin out, put Hurdle in, but he's on power play 2. So I think Bonino, my boy, Nick Bonino moved up to power play 1, but it's really line winner bust for me on the Sharks. There we go. Ownership just rolled in.
Nice.
And the latest ownership run has the Sharks top line at 2%. So, it won't take much to get over the field there. So I like it. On the Ottawa side, I think, you can go to that top line. It is kind of, I wouldn't game stack because, Norris is going to go against Couture and it's negatively correlated. I don't know the exact numbers, but it can't, you don't want to stack lines going up against each other. Usually doesn't work out, but I do like that top line fully correlated on the power play. It's cheaper than the Sharks top line. James Reimer in net for the Sharks. So I don't know. I kind of like that line. I see their ownership like 8, 9, 10%. That does worry me a little bit, but they are at home in a 3.1 total. So I think you can do that. Stützle moved all the way down to the third line with Cliffy's boy, Chris Tierney and Alex Formenton. But I mean, they're going to get the depth of the Sharks, which, isn't great. So I don't mind like a Formenton Stützle 2-man or even a Stützle 1-off because he is on that top power play. That second line is an okay line for me. They're just going to be overowned. I would imagine they're going to be negatively correlated in the top stacks tool, but I don't mind a Pinto Brown 2-man as well.
Yeah, Alex Formenton tout. I'm sure you'll be hearing about that one.
Oh, Saul already contacted my lawyer, so we're new.
You got to be careful mentioning names like that. Like I said, we got some really attentive viewers in here. They're not going to let anything slip. You mentioned the Sharks ownership. So it is updated on the lineup builder. If you guys are premium members, just refresh the page and you should have ownership for both DraftKings and FanDuel. And you're seeing a really low number for all of these Sharks 1 players. They've been really good. Like it's kind of weird because they've had really good results and that makes me not really want to play them because I don't know if I believe in this line being amazing at 5-on-5, but they're going up against the Senators. Norris, Tkachuk, and Batherson, like that's not really a great matchup, I wouldn't say. With Tkachuk back on that line, it's going to be a pretty good possession line, but still, I'm going to be ending up over the field. If it's going to be 2% or 5% for this Sharks 1 stack, I'm going to be over that. When I ran my lineups right before the show, and they were even at a little bit higher ownership, I had 22% Sharks 1. So I'm not going to be at 22%. Because that would be my highest owned stack of the night. But I think I'm going to be close to double digits. And I think that's going to get me to where I want to be. Then Ottawa 1, they're popular. I don't have a problem playing them. I'll definitely have some of them. But I kind of like the second line a little bit. Pinto, Connor Brown, and Nick Paul. I wish Stetzel was there instead of Paul. That would make me really like it. But as a filler stack, I think Ottawa too is pretty decent if you're looking to get really cheap. We're going to talk about some expensive lines, expensive power plays that are viable tonight and some other games. And they're allowing me to get to some of those higher end options. What about Shabbat or Burns or Erik Karlsson? I mean, how the times have changed. $4,800 Erik Karlsson, and I haven't even thought about him for 1 second.
I can't do it. Like I can't pay $6,500 for Burns either. I guess if you're using the Sharks top line, you can correlate it, but I don't think I'd one-off Burns. There's other guys I'd rather one-off: Jacob Chikrin, Darnell Nurse, your boy, 87% Roman Josi. So like, I'd rather use those guys than Burns. I'm kind of out on the Sharks defenseman. On the Ottawa side, obviously, if you're using the Ottawa Sens top line, Shabbat makes some sense for the power play. Michael Del Zotto, min price power play too. I'm not going to tout Formenton and Michael Del Zotto. I just wanted to mention that he's min price on power play too. If you are going to use the second line, my son Artem Zub, 4,600, way too expensive. His price needs to come down. So it's really Shabbat or bust for me on the Sun side.
We got a good question here. He's Arbo75. He's in our premium Discord, I think. I'm a 20 lineups guy. What percentage should my top stack be? I'm guessing top exposed stack he's talking about. So 20 lineups. I don't know. For me, with 20 lineups, like if I'm playing that in the larger field GPP, like if I'm playing that in the $15 night, you got 20. I'd be fine having like 35, 40% of a line, just because you need more shots if you do get that line correct. Because you're going to be going up against guys like me who play 150 lineups that have that amount of lineups with your top owned stack as well. If you're playing it in a 20 max, I'd probably spread it out a little bit more. I'd say like 20, 25%. Maybe if it's McDavid slate, McDavid is not like the most amazing matchup in the world. You can go like 30-ish, but that'd be how I play it. What about you, Josh?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. If you're throwing 20 into the 150, I think you got to get up over the field, especially if you hit the line. You need as many shots as you can get with the best line. And in the 20 max, you have 20 lineups, I'd go 20, 25%, especially on a bigger slate, because you're going to have to make the McDavid question. You're going to be either way over or way under, and it's the only late game. So you eliminate like a really chalk line. And I think, just we'll pretend that McDavid's not on the slate tonight. I think in a 20 max, I'd probably cap it around no more than 20, 25%.
The chat's saying McDavid, there was a bark on McDavid. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that doesn't really count. I mean, that's like, is the sun going to come up tomorrow? Obviously the dogs are going to bark for that.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about McDavid. It's when it barks on, like JT Compher or, Mikhail Maltsev. That's when you know you're going to win a live final.
They're all mad at me. It wasn't me. My fiance put all of them in like jackets. They're all wearing like shirts and jackets for fall time, and they're all pissed off. So that's why they're expressing their feelings about McDavid tonight, because they're mad.
There you go. Avalanche, Panthers. We got a 3.2 implied total for the Avs, 3.3 for the Panthers. Jonas Johansson, who some have called the worst goalie to ever play in the NHL, not Darcy Kemper tonight for the Avs. Sergei Bobrovsky, who has had a roller coaster time playing in Florida. And we've got some big totals on each side here. I know one line that you're going to love here. Cliffy's going to be on board. I'm going to be on board. You want to talk about some Florida too? Yeah,
of course my screen is still frozen, but I was telling Jake before the show, in a 60-minute sample, Huberdeau, Sam Bennett, Tippett, they have a 67% Corsi for. I'm kind of doing this off the top of my head. And they have a 4.47 expected goals for. And it's 18 high danger scoring chances per 60. And they're going up against the line of your boy, Mikhail Maltsev, Kadri, and Burakovsky, which isn't great defensively. Like, they should run them over. And with John Vogel's worst goalie in the history of the NHL in net, I think this is another spot where you go back to Florida too. Yeah, Sam Bennett's price came up to a respectable 5,800, but they're coming in at 3-4%. You get power play one with Bennett or Huberdeau. You avoid the McKinnon matchup. Owen Tippett's not some slouch, and he's 3,200, gets secondary power play time. If you want to leave off Tippett and add in Reinhardt to get the full power play one correlation, sure, go for it. But I really like Florida 2 again tonight. And then obviously both top lines, but they're going up against each other. I think I would prefer, probably Colorado 1. Just, we'll see, Verhaeghe or Barkov Duclair have great numbers in the large sample size from last year, but McKinnon, Rent, and Landeskog, they're one of those matchup proof top lines, and I think you should have them in GPPs. You can also have Florida 1 in GPPs. I just avoid game stacking them together. You can do something like Colorado 1, Florida 2. That's fine if you want to go game stack on a 10-game slate, which I wouldn't completely recommend on a huge slate, but you can. So yeah, I like both top lines. I think I prefer Colorado 1 just a little bit more, and Florida 2 is my favorite line in this game.
Wow, now asking for a promo code. So we've really turned him around. He was pretty skeptical on our advice in general. Now he wants a promo code to the site. So if you go into the description of the show, Awesemo, there's a Awesemo promo code for 50% off Awesemo Plus Platinum if you use code Curry. So just click on that link. It'll take you right there, and you can become an Awesemo Plus Platinum member. Yeah, Florida 2. I don't know. I think they're close to the nut line on tonight. Like, Avs struggling with some depth. You mentioned their second line with my boy Maltsev. Third line, I don't think is very special. Like, they're just hurting for forward depth right now. And this Bennett line has been so good at carrying play, just generating a ton of chances. They look crazy good when you watch them. I'm not forgetting about line 1 either. Barkov, Verhaeghe, Duclair. Duclair did stick with that line for the whole game, which I was surprised to see.
There's a huge sample on them too, so it's not like they're just some thrown together line with no sample. Like, that line was an elite line together last year.
Verhaeghe, he's a stud too. 6,400. Like, his median projection is never going to catch up to that price probably, but does have some upside even though he doesn't play in the top power play. Playing with Barkov, I mean, can't really get to a better spot. And then Duclair. He's been your boy for a while. And yeah, you mentioned the sample size there. It's really good. So I love the Florida top 6. I'm playing some Colorado 1. I don't know. I mean, I know why they're a little bit popular here. It's because they're awesome. And maybe you get a discount on Landeskog at 6,800. I could see this being a high, a very high tempo game. Where you got chances trading back and forth, and you got Bobrovsky in that. So I'm going to be getting to some Colorado 1 here. Can't really avoid them at this price and in a matchup that I think is not terrible for them and a great goalie to target against. Anything else on the blue line?
I mean, Bohm Byram, if you're not power play correlating, is okay at 3,300. I think there's some better spots than that. I wish Forsling was a bit cheaper and Uyghur was a bit cheaper. They're both in the mid 5s on DraftKings, and that's just a bit out of what I like to do for a defenseman. Brandon Montour, 3,200, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just seeing Ekblad's price. I was wondering why I wasn't getting to him.
Yeah,
6,900.
Yeah, I'd rather play Chikrin or Nurse or Yossi again, over.
Yeah. So what I'm probably gonna do with Ekblad is just only play him with Florida stacks. And I'll probably have to give him a couple thumbs up or lock him in a couple lines and see if I can end up with some of Ekblad because he's just so expensive. He's not even projected for 10 points right now. He can score goals. He can go nuclear and get the 3-point bonus and get 5-shot bonus with some relative ease. So I don't actually hate playing him as an add-on if you're just going for the Florida onslaught here. And then Cale Makar, 6,400. I think I'd play him as a one-off or with Colorado 1. I mean, I'd prefer to play him with Colorado 1, but then it gets really expensive for a team on the road against another good team. All right, let's go to the Capitals and the Devils. 3.2 implied total for the Caps, 2.9 for the Devils. Vanacek or Samsonov. I'm not sure who's going for them. They don't have anyone confirmed. Scott Wedgwood is confirmed for the Devils. Devils, big injury news. Jack Hughes going to be out for a little bit. He's week to week. Dislocated shoulder is what I saw, I think, earlier today. So he's not playing tonight. So we don't get the Hughes, Sharon Govich, Kuakanen line anymore. There's really only one Devils line for me in play, and they're at pretty low ownership. Hischier, Zaka, and Jesper Bratt. Do you like them, or are you finding yourself more on the cap side here?
I'm on both sides here. I like that Hischier line. They're going to get the Ovechkin-Kuznetsov matchup, and there's a large sample of Ovechkin-Kuznetsov being very poor defensively. So I think at 2%, 2-3%, I think it's not very hard to get over the field on NJ1 here. 2.9 total at home isn't great, but at that price, fully correlated, Caps penalty kill hasn't been great. So, I think you can go back to them for sure. I also like that Caps top line for obvious reasons. Devils are a bit banged up. Scott Wedgwood in net, he's their third goalie. Ovechkin's going to be popular tonight, but, you can play that top line together because Ovechkin plays with Wilson on the second power play unit. So it's not like you're not getting complete correlation there. That second line for the Caps, Mantha, Eller, Sprong, is a decent filler for me. They're really cheap. You get Mantha on the top power play, Eller, Sprong on the second power play. I think you can get them in as a secondary stack. I wouldn't, they're not a primary focus for me at all. I think TJ Oshie's not a bad one-off. Has no ownership on power play one. And then on the Devil side, if you want to, drop down to that third line, they're going to see the depth of the Caps, Andreas Janssen, Mercer, and Tatar. Tatar power play one. So I like that spot there. That third line, I wouldn't go crazy with them, but they're like 9,000 the full stack to let you get in some power play options.
Yeah, I actually don't mind that third line on New Jersey. I'd probably consider that the second line without Hughes on that, and you get Michael McLeod instead. So we'll call him New Jersey 3 for now, but I actually don't mind that at all. I do really like Devils 1 though. Short sample this season. They've been very, very good at generating chances. And then you mentioned the matchup against Kuznetsov and Ovechkin. So I think it looks pretty good for them. Caps 1, man, they're pretty popular as well. Ovi obviously going to get his ownership because he's just a hat trick waiting to happen. So if you want to one off Ovi, that's fine.
Yeah, he can have kind of a weird zero until like the third period, and then all of a sudden he'll just score 3 goals in 12 seconds. And
it seems like it happens a couple times a year. And last game, the Kuznetsov line went off without Ovi really doing much. He had a late goal. I can't remember if it was empty net or what.
Yeah, it was empty net.
Yeah, but I wouldn't play Kuznetsov without Ovechkin, just as a general rule. Carlson's price come down to 5,900. Like him there. Or Carlson, Ovi 2-man. I think that's always fine. It is a good total for the Caps, but I like Colorado 1. I like Edmonton 1 over them. So I don't think I'm going to get to a lot of Caps 1 stacks here. It's all about the Devils for me. Anything else?
Carlson's price still below 6,000. I think you can go back there. Dougie is a choice. 7,100, 20% ownership. I think at that ownership, I would just put him in NJ1 lineups. I also don't mind Damon Severson, 2,700 power play too.
All right. Before we get to the next couple games, we have partnered with Yahoo Fantasy. As you guys see in the top right, if you're watching on YouTube, you can get a free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum with this new partnership that we've got. It used to be 2 months, but you're not missing out on everything if you're taking advantage of this now. Do get a free month. All you've got to do is use the link in the description below. And you need to be a new user on Yahoo. You need to sign up for an account via that link and then deposit and play in a paid contest. Yahoo's going to send you, it's going to send us your name, and then we'll send you a coupon to redeem your free month. So if you email support at Awesemo after you followed all those steps, you can get a free month with us and get a Discord and use all the tools that Josh and I reference, and all the other guys that do shows here reference on all these shows: NBA, MLB, playing World Series baseball, PGA, any sport that we have on the site, you can get access to for at least a month, and hopefully stick around for more. Yahoo NHL, like I was looking at it, it's actually pretty good. Like they're keeping the contest at a reasonable size. They've got $500 the first in their $10. I've been playing, I think I've played every single night on Yahoo so far. Good contest. And I mean, it's a lot softer. So go play over there. Come take some of my money if you so choose. Yahoo's great. Lower management fees. That means there's going to be more winners than on your other sites. So go support Yahoo. They're sponsoring the show. They're helping us out. They're helping you get a free month of Awesemo Plus. So might as well go take some stabs over on Yahoo. And they've got a bunch of different contests at different stakes from $1 to $10 for NHL tonight. We've got the Islanders and the Blue Jackets, 2.9 implied total for the Isles, 2.5 for the Jackets. Ilya Sorokin and Elvis Merzlikins are your expected goalies tonight. Kind of an ugly game here in terms of total. Is there anything that really catches your eye here, Josh?
This is more of an MME game for me. There's not something I'm really going to prioritize to get into my lineups. I do like that top line for Columbus. The Islanders have been bad offensively, but they're still a pretty decent defensive team. I do like that top line, but, I wouldn't prioritize them. I'd have a little bit if I was MMEing. I think for me, where I would focus in this game is Isles 2 and a little bit of Isles 3. That second line, Beauvillier did score. It was weird because the Islanders scored 4 goals last game. They had 1 assist on all 4 goals, like total. It was just strange. So, I don't mind going back to Isles 2 here. Even Isles 3, especially, they're pretty much min-priced. They're, $355? 8,200 to full stack. It lets you, if you get 2 guys from there, JG Pajot and Wahlstrom, it lets you fit in a power play stack. They're another 2-man that I don't mind. Like Wahlstrom scored a couple goals last game. His price only jumped 300 to 3,000. He's only getting 2% ownership. So I don't mind the 2-man at Isles 3. But if I had to stack something in this game, it'd be Isles 2.
Yeah, I like the Isles 2 line as much as I'm not a Josh Bailey guy. 3,800, and you've got Nelson and Beauvillier for both very reasonable prices and low ownership. I don't mind going up against some of that Blue Jackets depth. I'm kind of a believer in this Jenner Voracek Line line. I've never been a huge Line guy, and he's tough from a projection standpoint because he's so efficient with his goal scoring that when you look at shot attempt metrics, he doesn't look that strong. But he's just such a good goal scorer. He's one of those guys in NFL where it's Derrick Henry and he's the highest priced guy and he doesn't project as a good value, but he's just got this nuclear upside. I don't know. I think Laine's got that playing with these guys. So did you mention, are they expected to go into Barzell, Lee, and Palmieri? Because I wouldn't love that.
I think they're going to get Nelson, Beauvillier, Bailey.
Okay.
My sheet is still frozen. So if it unfreezes, I can let you know. But
yeah, either way, it's just kind of on these bigger slates, I'll just mostly play lines that I think are good, either in good spots or are good and in bad spots. So try not to play the lines that are bad, but in good spots, because then you're still a bad line. There's some old saying like that, I think. But yeah, fully correlated top power play. I don't mind getting to some Blue Jackets 1. I love Islanders 1 in general, and I think they're a great line, but man, they're pretty pricey and it's a low total here and they're on the road. They don't get to dictate the matchups. So probably out on them tonight just because they're not going to project well enough for me to get there. So it's going to be mostly Blue Jackets 1 and Islanders 1, or Islanders 2. What about defenseman here? Werenski, 6,200. Does that intrigue you at all?
Yeah, I don't mind Werenski at 6,200. He's they're on a good defender, so he plays a ton of minutes. I don't mind that. And then, Noah Dobson, power play 1, 3,100. He doesn't get too many minutes, but I don't mind it there. It's really about it on the blue line. If you want to play Mayfield at 2,000, I think that's fine. Or even Pulak at 4,300 if you have the space, but I'd probably look elsewhere.
Cool. Let's move on then to the Flames and the Red Wings. 2.8 implied total for the Flames. 2.8 as well for the Wings. Markstrom expected to go against Nedeljkovic. Another pretty ugly game. Red Wings have played not too bad so far. Just beat the Blue Jackets on Tuesday night. Calgary won, potentially another letdown spot here if they're going to be popular, but it doesn't look like they're going to be overwhelmingly popular. nothing from an ownership perspective in this game is very high. Is that a mistake, or are you kind of with what we have for ownership here?
You want to pay $7,200 for Tyler Bertuzzi?
I mean, if he's going to score 4 goals, I don't know. Might have to.
18,000 for the full line. Like, I guess you can go there. I mean, they've been pretty good. They had a good game last night, or not last night, 2 nights ago. I don't know. If you're MMEing, I'd have like 1 or 2 just in case. Like, I'd have Detroit 1 for some FOMO, but other than that, like, I'm not going to prioritize them. I do like there's so many good cheap fillers if you're looking to power play stack tonight, and Coleman Backlund is another one. Like, they're just mispriced. Backlund is 2,700, power play 2, Blake Coleman 3,100. They're another 2-man. They're playing with Tyler Pitlick, which doesn't really do much for me, but like that 2-man lets you get into power play stack. I also do like the top line. I don't like playing Calgary as chalk, but if they're coming in around 4% against the Red Wings, I think I will have some. So yeah, I mean, I like that Detroit top line a little bit just from an MME standpoint because they're overpriced, which means they'll have no ownership. They'll be a contrarian play. And they do have the potential to score some goals. So, Calgary 1, Detroit 1 in that order. And then I do like the Coleman Backlund 2-man.
Yeah, I think so. Detroit 1, they're going to project okay from a raw point perspective. Actually, I need to fix Larkin's minutes here. That's probably throwing things off. I'm guessing his minutes were messed up because he played like a couple minutes one game and then got kicked out or something. So I'll fix that. But they're going to be a line that is low owned, but probably under owned relative to their chances of being an actual top stack. So that's fine if you want to. If I get to 3 or 4% of Detroit 1, I'm not going to X them out or anything. But this one's just kind of a sludge fest for me. I don't love anything, especially with Bertuzzi's price being 7,200, higher price than Larkin. But I mean, I'll give them credit. Like they're playing a lot better than what I thought they would without Mantha, right? So I guess maybe they're just a really good duo, and Raymond's going to fill in nicely there.
You know what it is? Blashill sends out Larkin against the bottom 6 at home of other teams. So
fair enough.
The depth of the Flames isn't very good, but it also means that Calgary 1's going to get, probably Pia Suter, Robbie Fabry, Philip Zadina, which is, right. Licking your chops.
Yeah, exactly. So Calgary 1 coming in at about 4% ownership right now. I feel like I never get to Calgary 1 unless they're in the complete nut spot like they were a couple nights ago. Other than that, I rarely get to them. Do we want to talk about Nick Leddy or Rasmus Anderson? Are these just add-ons?
Yeah, I mean, if you're correlating on the power play, there is not much to like as one-offs in this game on the blue line.
I'm not finding a ton of low-priced defensemen I like, so maybe you need to do some digging after the show. If you guys got some in chat that you want us to talk about, feel free to shout them out. But it's kind of like I'm just trying to keep my exposures to the top guys tonight. Maybe some Evan Bouchard. Speaking of the Oilers, there's some changes. I don't know if you checked the Discord right now.
I did, yeah. Hyman's on the top.
Return of Zach Hyman. We'll get to that in just a bit. We've got the Rangers and the Predators 2.8 implied total for both sides. Igor Shesterkin and UC Saros are your projected goalies. Your Rangers right here. Josh is a Rangers fan, so this is what he's been waiting for. Although I will say, Zibanejad, Panarin together has not been a lucrative experience so far for DFSers if you've been playing them. They're coming in at one of the highest owned stacks on the slate on the road in Nashville. Going to see probably some of that Nashville 1 line, probably some of the Nashville 2 line. I don't know if they're going to hard match, but where are you at on your Rangers here with the 2 big guns up top?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to play them tonight. At first glance, I'm like, Panarin, Zibanejad, Kreider. Seems like a pretty decent spot. But they're expensive, and they're going to be 12, 13% owned on a 10-game slate on the road. Like, it's just going to be a pass for me. If you want to have some, that's fine. They're not going to be a priority for me. You're going to get the Ryjo matchup, which means they're also going to get Yossi. I'll save that line for a better spot. If you want to have some, I'm not going to tell you no. Fully correlated on the power play. They have a good power play. I mean, it's not world beating right now, but it's pretty good. Again, like if you want to get a better matchup in this game, I think it's to the second lines on both sides, just because, Lafreniere, Hedel, Sammy Blais, not a great line defensively. Granlund, Tolvanen, Kunin, not a great line defensively. So I think, that could be a pretty high pace. One thing I will note, I was looking at shift chart. Tolvanen, he got moved off that second line in the third period. And Yakov Trenin moved up for most of the third period. So that's something to keep an eye on. But really, again, like there's not much that I'm going to prioritize in this game. If you want to use Nashville 1, I think that's fine. I learned my lesson stacking against Igor the GOAT. So I'm probably not going to have too much of Nashville tonight. I'll have a little bit of Rangers 1, a little bit of Rangers 2, a little bit of Nashville 2. But really for me, I think if I was making 150, the highest owned person I'd have from this game is your boy, Roman Josi.
Well, I mean, yeah, there you go. You're just asking for that extra raise. After you said 75%, I was asking Tom to lock you up for like a 10 or 12-year deal. So, I think you're just saying that for me. Seth, I'm sure will agree in the chat. We've got our old friend Bobby Boom as well, says, "Where's Jake?" And he's in YouTube chat, so I don't know how he's asking where I am, but that's our guy. Rangers 1. It feels wrong to be over the field on them right now. That's where I'm at right now on them. Is one of my highest owned stacks, but I really, maybe Zibanejad and Panarin just aren't maybe they're just not going to work together at 5-on-5. I don't know what it is, but every time they've been put together, it just has not worked out. So they're fully correlated in the top power play, and they're a reasonable price. So I get why you want to play them. They're going to project pretty well. I'm just going to end up limiting them, I think is what's going to happen on Rangers 1. So not completely fading. I never go out of my way I shouldn't say I rarely go out of my way to fade a line on a big slate, but I just not quite bought in yet on Rangers 1. So if I make a tournament with Rangers 1, don't yell at me because I'm going to have some because I'm a coward.
But I think if you're making 150, that makes sense, but you're either going to be under because they're going to be 12, 13%. You have something like 3-4%, or you have to go over. Like having the field of Rangers 1 tonight just feels like a fish move. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, Josh, have you ever wondered what it's like to be part of the Awesemo Hall of Fame or how you could even be part of the Awesemo Hall of Fame?
I've been trying to be a part of it. I just, haven't come close to winning a tournament since 1979. So,
well, you keep playing 75% Yossi, and you should get there very, very shortly. Go play on Yahoo. You can make a tournament there very quickly. So in order to be part of the Awesemo Hall of Fame, if you guys are wondering, Josh was wondering, so I wanted to bring it up on the show. You download the Awesemo avatar from awesemo.com/avatar. You place in the top 3 of a tournament with over 5,000 contestants. You tweet the win at Awesemo Hall of Fame at Awesemo HOF. That's the account. And then you can win a free month, or you will win a free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. You can only do this once every 12 months. So don't be trying to do this if you're a shark and you just want a free sub. You can only do it once a year. And then you get Awesemo Plus Platinum free month. So, we're just giving stuff away here. It makes us look good. You just got to tweet the win out. It's not that difficult. And you just have to use the Awesemo avatar. And it's a sick looking avatar. So let's look at some of the recent ones that we have had. We've got Big Daddy 7-4-20, 160K. Wow. I'm assuming that's got to be an NBA score, 346.75.
That's my wife's boyfriend's account. So.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Praz Racing took it down for NBA. Man, NBA's been going on for like 2 days. We got like 7 of these already. Took down 2K with 340.25. Next, we've got P. Hanley. That's a familiar name. P. Hanley 214 took down 50K. This was on NFL Sunday, 225.6. This guy's just been raking lately and always tagging Awesemo Hall of Fame. So that's nice to see. We've got, he doesn't have his username, but his Twitter is ShortGamerTV. He says, thanks to Awesemo.com and the crew entered $620 on DraftKings, took out 62,000. I saw Alex tweet at him, pretty good ROI. I would agree. That's not too bad in terms of the ROI there. Mangler took down 10K, and it looks like a live final seat. Wow, NBA guys just crushing so far. We've got Paul taken down over on Yahoo as well, $724, finished first there. And first in a couple other tournaments, third in a different one. Man, he was all over the place this last Sunday. And then Sham God took down NBA opening night first place shop, he says, for $182, likely in a smaller dollar tourney. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to win 10,000. You don't have to win 100,000 like Awesemo does. But if you just win and you follow those rules, you play in the quarter arcade, you play in the nickel, whatever it is, finish top three and use the avatar, follow those directions, you can be part of the Awesemo Hall of Fame. Let's do Ducks and Jets. We got a 2.4 implied total for the Ducks. We got a 3.2 for the Jets. Gibson, Hellebuck. And this one is pretty interesting because we've got Evgeny Svechnikov on line 2 with Dubois and Kyle Connor. Stastny, Kopp, and Nikola Ehlers, 3 wings playing as your top line for the Jets. No Mark Scheifele, no Blake Wheeler. I'm assuming Wheeler is out. But I did see he was possible for tonight, and then Scheifele got ruled out. So I don't know.
Scheifele's ruled out for sure.
What's that?
Scheifele's ruled out. Someone mentioned that he tested negative, and it's possible he plays tonight.
So it's like a McKinnon situation?
I think so.
Okay. Well, that could certainly shake some things up. I really want to see Stastny, Kopp, and Ehlers together because this line was so good at 5-on-5 last season, and they would just run over the likes of Getzlaf, Sonny Milano, Zegras, Henrique Raquel, whoever they go up against. I think they smash. And then you got Kyle Connor and Dubois, I think is a pretty good duo as well. But more information on this game to come as it stands right now. Where are you at on the Jets?
Yeah, I like the Jets tonight, especially Ehlers. Like, he's just the man. He gets power play one time now that Wheeler's out. He's going to be popular tonight. I think he is a very good cash play tonight at his price, though, $5,300. If Scheifele's back, he's back. He's going to still be on the top power play. The thing with 3 wings on DraftKings, it's a way to get different. If there's like a 2C spot like that you like, who are both on power plays, like a couple years ago, I do Matthews Tavares and then try to find a 3. It's a way to get unique in large field tournaments. I think you can do it. I see the ownership there, but maybe that's going to be the ownership for the individual players. But if you get all 3 of those guys into your lineup as wingers, like that trio is going to be very low owned. It's just going to be low owned. So I think you can do that. The second line is interesting too. If it is Evgeny Svechnikov there, at first glance, I was like, oh, John Gibson, 6,800. I'm going to play him in cash, but it's like, holy crap, the Ducks are terrible. Like, I know they've been playing good, but I'm not sure I'm buying it. I know Niehaus is going to be over Big Dick Rick Raquel. So I don't know. I like Winnipeg in this game. If you want to play Gibson, I think he's an okay play. We always talk about it, 6,800. These goalies under 7,000 on the road, going to see some shot volume. They can win you some tournaments. So I don't mind it. But for me, this is a Winnipeg game. If you do want to get like a Zegras Raquel 2-man with Jamie Drysdale for some power play exposure, because, the Jets are a bit banged up. They're pretty weak on the penalty kill. You can, but I'm not going to go out of my way on a 10-game slate to play some Ducks on the road. I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, I think I'm out on the Ducks for the most part. Again, if a couple fillers end up and I can get some more Colorado 1 or whoever my top line at Edmonton 1, and I end up with some Anaheim cheap guys, that's fine. But if I'm getting any more than a couple percent of them, I'm going to make that not happen. So Scheifele is he's eligible to play tonight, assuming he gets another negative test, it sounds like. So this is a mess. If they're going to be this highly owned and we're not going to know who's playing, or not going to know till after lock, then I'm probably going to avoid. But if we get news before lock, I'm definitely going to be on Winnipeg. It's just a matter of what their lines actually look like. I would assume it would be Stastny goes down to line 2 with Dubois and Ehlers, and then it's Kopp, Scheifele, and Connor which is what they did when they had like 25 points against the Wild 2 nights ago in a terrible spot. I'm salty about the Jets. I can't stand these guys. Anything else in this game? We got to fly through the last couple.
Yeah, not really. Not really a fan of any defenseman in this game, so we can move on to the next.
All right. Vancouver, Chicago, 3 implied total for the Canucks, 3.1 for the Hawks. Thatcher Demko and Kevin Lankinen are your goalies. High implied total for the Hawks. I'm seeing DeBrincat actually up with Doc and Kane. I didn't catch that one before the show. If that's the case, is that not the case?
It might be. I mean,
Okay.
the lineup builder is pretty consistent. So
Yeah. All right. If that's the case, then yeah, there's a clear spot here for Chicago, but I thought they would all be broken up like they have been recently. They could easily get swapped during the game, which is really frustrating, but that's a risk you take with the Hawks. Kane, obvious, yes, at 7,400. DeBrincat, yes, 5,400. If they're playing together at 5-on-5, that's a pretty great 2-man, and Doc's reasonable for 3,600. So I'm changing my tune on the Hawks compared to what I was going to say. Do you like anything on either side here?
I think they're better cash plays than GPP plays just because of that ownership, but
Yeah.
and how they switch up their lines. But DeBrincat's going to be on power play 1. Kane's going to be on power play 1 and play with everybody in the lineup. That meme where the guy's holding up a sign? Like, I just want that guy to hold up a sign that says "Play Dominic Kubalik power play 1," and then I'd play him more. Like 4,900 if he's on power play 1, he'd be a great play tonight. But I think people are going to go out of their way to use DeBrincat, Doc, Kane. I just, in GPPs, it's a bit tough. It's because it's going to be super popular. DeBrincat, Kane is a safe 2-man, but they're going to be super high owned, and they're not super expensive. So you just be aware, like if you can fit like a popular expensive line, like maybe I'm going to get duped here, but just be aware if you're going to use them. But I do really like them in GPPs as well. I like them in cash. That second line is interesting to me. Kubalik, Tays, and Hagel. That line's okay. Their ownership does worry me a little bit, 5-6% for a secondary line. There's some better, lower owned, cheaper spots that I like secondary. On the Vancouver side, I like that top line, Hoglander, Pettersson, Besser. I think you can power play stack the Canucks tonight, even three total on the road. Blackhawks aren't very good defensively. You do something like Pettersson, Besser, Horvat. There's your 2C right there to get in your 3 Jets wingers. So yeah, I like the Canucks power play stack.
I really like Canucks power play too. So, I'm going to end up with some Blackhawks, but I really, really like Vancouver here. Is Hughes even possible to play tonight, or is he out?
I believe he's out.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I wish Hughes was playing instead of Ekman Larson, but whatever. If Ekman Larson's going to play 25 minutes in power play 1 with this Vancouver top 6, I'll have some. We've got the last game. We need to go very quick, give your hat trick pick afterwards, and maybe your favorite goalie, Koskinen and Vemelka here for the Oilers, and the Yotes, 3.5 implied total for the Oilers, 2.6 for the Yotes. McDavid, Draisaitl on different lines. McDavid with Hyman and Puljujarvi. Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Yamamoto as your second line for the Oilers. What do you got here?
Yeah, if Hyman's going to move up to the top line, I still really like that top line. Hyman, McDavid, Puljujarvi, play Puljujarvi. He gets power play time. Doesn't matter what the lineup builder says or anyone's site that says he isn't on power play 1. He gets power play 1 time. I really like that top line with Draisaitl moving down with Nugent Hopkins. I really like that line as well. It's just a bit pricey now, 8,800 winger. I still think you can do it, but I'd rather play McDavid. On the Arizona side, good Lord, are they bad? But holy cow, the Oilers also bad. So I think you can have a line that avoids the McDavid line here. Man, there isn't much to like, but maybe I'd one off a Keller. That's really about it, because the power play 1 is Lawson Krause, Clayton Keller, Uncle Hot Dog, Phil Kessel, Christian Fisher. 4 different even strength lines for the power play with Ghost. So really, I like Jacob Chikrin as well. Nurse, Bouchard, both very good plays for me, one-offs for the Oilers.
Yeah, like Edmonton, like him a little bit less with McDavid and Draisaitl not together, but still, I think McDavid and Hyman is going to be a really good duo with Puljujarvi. So I think that's going to be a really, really good line. I'm not off of Edmonton 1 by any stretch now that Draisaitl's not on that line. So love Edmonton 1 plus Tyson Barrie. My hat trick pick is, and I might change this, but for now, Nikola Ehlers, assuming he plays with Stastny, Kopp at even strength. And then my favorite goalie, I think my favorite goalie is at least a high price guy is Markstrom. Cheaper guy, Merzlikins, I think is fine. What do you got?
And for goalie, I mean, I like Gibson. I just don't know if I'm going to put him out there. I like Mr. Lickens at 7K. I like the cheap goalies. For me, my hat trick pick is going to be Elias Pettersson.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We got back-to-back NFL shows coming on right after this. MMA Strategy, 4 Eastern. NBA Deeper Dive live before lock, 5 Eastern. 7:30 Eastern. NFL Showdown live before lock. Don't go anywhere. Got a bunch of shows coming up after this. Thanks, everybody, for joining, and good luck.